Oh, welcome to Happy Hour, everyone, whether you're joining us from Zoom at this moment in time or on YouTube. Lovely to have you with us. And also welcome wherever in the world you are, whatever time zone, whether it's your morning, starting your day in Australia, or winding down on the East Coast around 9 p.m. or early evening West Coast. I see some of our Singaporean friends have joined. Good morning to you. It's great to see you. So the invitation for tonight is to continue exploring. We've been exploring Metta with respect to the paramis, the 10 paramis for the past couple of weeks. And tonight we have made our way to the paramis, the perfection, these 10 beautiful qualities that the Buddha has taught, these 10 beautiful qualities of the heart. And tonight we have reached what's called Aditanha, which is often translated as resolve, and there are more nuances to the word though, so I want to spend a minute. So Aditanha comes from the Pali word Adi, meaning foundation or beginning, and the word da or sta in Pali, meaning standing. So foundational, beginning, standing, foundational standing. So feel into those two words for yourself, foundational standings. Like if you take a stand, it's your foundational stance. The foundational standing is often translated to a decision or resolution or self-determination or will or resolve. But I actually like the combination of these two words in Pali to really get a feeling in the body, because resolve can feel so tight. But the idea here isn't the tightness, it's foundational. So it's your basis, it's through your root, through your core. Feel as if your core, you have these roots into the ground. They're your foundational standing. They allow you to stand. So that's the way I'm going to invite us to relate to Aditanha. Again, I might use the word resolve, but really this feeling of it's your foundational standing. It's your decision. It's the way that you intend to be, to show up. So exploring this way of this Aditanha, this foundational standing, this resolve, with respect to Metta. So as we practice any kind of practice, cultivating wisdom, cultivating compassion, cultivating metta, goodwill, any cultivation that you take on, both short term, in the momentary cultivation as you're sitting and your mind is wandering and you're like, come back, mind. There's a sense of your North Star. There's a sense of foundational standing. There's a sense of resolve, intentionality that you both bring to each moment of practice, the micro level, as well as the macro level. There are times that practice might become challenging, or life is more challenging than usual. And you go back, you feel into your foundational standing. This Aditanha, your resolve, your intentionality, is this sense of, again, resolution, will, determination, but I really like foundational standing. Your beginning, what's your beginning? What's your intention? What's your North Star? Both in the micro level, in every moment of practice, and in the macro level, in the arc of your life, in the months, years, decades of your life, your Aditanha, your resolve, your foundational standing, your intentionality, the decisions that you make. So with that the invitation tonight is to explore how with cultivating goodwill, friendliness, metta for others and ourselves, tapping into feeling this foundational standing, this resolution, this resolve. It's not willy-nilly, and also recognizing the beauty, the goodness of this resolve. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here in this moment of time. You wouldn't have shown up. There's so many things you could be doing with your time, or those who would be listening to this on audio dharma later, or watching it on YouTube. There wouldn't be this intentionality, the connection to this sense of resolve, to this foundational standing. So in our exploration tonight, I will invite you to feel into that and recognize the goodness, the beauty of your own Aditanha, your own resolve. And maybe through this, you'll find more Aditanha. In fact, I'll just use the word Aditanha from now on. So Aditanha, foundational standing, resolve. It's kind of nice to use in new words sometimes, so we don't have so much association with it. So baggage maybe. Maybe the word resolution or being resolute feels tight for you. But Aditanha, oh, here's this new word. Like, oh, okay, you can associate whatever you find tonight, whatever beautiful qualities you find in your heart and your body and your mind with it. So with that introduction, I'd like to invite you to get into your meditation posture. If you need to move, to be more comfortable, this is the perfect time to do that. If you need to lie down, that's okay too. See what your body is calling for right now. If you need to straight up a little more straight with more dignity, maybe that's what your body needs right now. So deciding what your body needs. And with a sense of connecting with your intentionality, connecting with your foundation. First, let's connect with our foundation, with our physical foundation, our body. Landing in the body, feeling the body. Breathing, settling. And also at the beginning of this practice, as we are turning our attention to our bodies, to our foundation, also let's touch into our foundational beginning, our foundational stance, our Aditanha, our resolve, without getting tight, but as a sense of alignment in the body, as a sense of beauty, grace, the North Star. The sense of love, perhaps, that the heart has for this practice, for this cultivation, for yourself, for others. Can that feel like Aditanha? And letting that go, let's not become heady and feel our bodies landing in the body. Softening, relaxing. Allowing, inviting the body to relax with each breath, with each out breath, landing somewhere. Letting each in-breath be enlivening. And each out breath relaxing. And if you find your mind is resting, if your attention is resting on a thought, plan, or memory, gently inviting it back to be with the breath, to be with the body. The sense of this foundational stance for presence in this moment. In a spacious, relaxed way. And yet having a stance, having a perspective. Having a resolve. Connecting with Aditanha. Just breathing or letting yourself be breathed. The foundational stance, Aditanha, feeling it through your body. The entire intentionality through your bones, through your heart, through your body, not just a heady endeavor. What does your heart want? What does it want to be aligned with, move towards? As if your heart was a magnet, what is the gravitational force that your magnet wants to align with, is attracted to, your whole body? What is your intention? And as you drop these questions into the body, sitting, breathing, notice if connecting with your Aditanha, your foundational stance, or evoking the word resolve, if it brings tightness. If it doesn't, great. If it does, notice if you bring more attention to the whole body more relaxed, soft, and a sense of metta, sense of care. Aditanha, foundational stance, resolve, can have a sense of friendliness. It doesn't have to be harsh. It can be powerful, very powerful, strong force. And yet, it doesn't have to be harsh. It can be strong, with beauty, love, and grace, with friendliness. With warmth, with care. Dropping it into your body, not your head, dropping these reflections in the body. And now just allowing for a few minutes, just allowing yourself to be breathed, not thinking, but letting these reflections you have planted, as if you have planted seeds in the soil of your body and your heart. Now let your body relax and let it be breathed. Allowing there to be a settling, a relaxing of the body, and the environment opening up to the breath more, to the sounds. Sounds in the environment. Relaxing with all that's arising in the body and all around. And whatever arises in your mind right now, can the heart, can the mind connect with the resolve, with the Aditanha for loving kindness? Whatever arises, thoughts, sounds, sensations. I hear the sound of sirens now, where I'm sitting. And my mind, my heart turns to Aditanha for compassion for whoever is in trouble right now. Metta that meets suffering. See what else is arising for you. And maybe it's just simple. It's just the breath, the body. Maybe it's sleepiness. Maybe it's thoughts that, oh, I can't do this. My mind is too distracted. Can you connect with the resolve, with the foundational stance for kindness and goodwill for yourself in this moment? If that is your orientation in life, can you connect with it in this moment too? Can you hold whatever is arising in this moment with kindness? First, holding yourself with kindness and goodwill. May I be a friend to myself. May I hold myself with kindness. May I love and accept myself just as I am. And then whatever arises, thoughts, sounds, sensations, can there be a lack of judgment, lack of irritation, just a sense of friendliness, ease, friendliness with yourself and everything that arises. And if you find your mind judging, fixing, comparing, maybe turn your attention to your foundational stance. Connect with your Aditanha. What is your Aditanha? What is your foundational stance? Foundational standing in life. What are you trying to cultivate? Who are you trying to be? And the way you're showing up moment to moment with your actions, with your thoughts, with how you spend your time, how you're spending your attention, your intention. Is it aligned? Is it aligned with your foundational stance in this moment and over time? Letting yourself be breathed. Just this breath, just this in-breath, just this out-breath. Letting the reflections percolate. Connected to the body, your foundation. Let yourself be breathed. the last minute, reconnecting with the Aditanha, foundational stance for kindness for yourself, holding yourself with care, with friendliness, non-judgment. Whatever arose in this practice period, these 30 minutes of the guided sit. To allow it to be just as it was. It had to be, had to arise just as it did, given causes and conditions. And connecting with the intention of goodwill for yourself. Holding yourself with kindness, acceptance, and goodwill. Thanks everyone for joining yourself and everyone on this journey of exploring Metta and Aditanha. So I'd like to invite us to share some reflections. You can type them in chat or raise your hand, unmute yourself. If you raise your hand physically, I may not see you. But you can raise your blue hand or just unmute yourself. You should be able to do that now. And I'll share a reflection with you as I was guiding this practice, this meditation. And one piece that was quite significant for me tonight was feeling my whole body, using the word foundational stance, the body as a foundation, as aligning with the metaphor of as if your whole body was a magnet with the gravitational force of the earth. What is your earth? What is what you are aligning with? So this, for me, felt really significant. What am I aligning with in what I'm creating in every moment of my life, in the way I show up? And reconnecting with my resolve, my intention for my Aditanha. So wanted to share that from what came up for me. Yeah, Marie Christine asks, is foundational stance connected to commitment? It can be. It can be. The idea of this Aditanha as a resolve, it is related to a commitment. When you make a resolve, when you make a stance, you're making kind of a commitment. So yes, there is a relationship. Yeah, so thank you for that question. Any other reflections, questions, please? You should be able to unmute yourself. Yes, you can. Just check that. What came up for you? What did you discover? Nancy, please. Looks like I can't unmute you, but you should be able to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I felt a certain, I guess, confidence in focusing on the body and the sensations and sounds and in the moment, of a certain confidence, which I'm not sure if that's the same thing as the stance, but in being able to sit and that my body will take me there. So I don't know how to express that appropriately, but
you expressed it beautifully, Nancy. It just, that hits my heart, the sense of confidence that arises, that you sit and your body will take you there. Beautiful. I love that. Thank you for sharing that, Nancy. That was lovely. Thank you. Beautiful. Nav offers exploring the felt sense of a foundational stance and how it relates to love. Beautiful. Thank you, Nav. Yeah. Yeah. Would you like to say more about that, Nav? You don't have to, but if you want to, it'd be lovely.
Sure. It's so the word foundation to me has a hardness, like a foundation stone. But the practice is about strength and softness at the same time. So for me, trying to explore how a foundational stance links to love for oneself and others, that relationship is something that I'm just starting to look at.
Great, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And I also appreciate you bringing up two things. One is that for some, the idea of foundation has this hardness to it. So many words for different people evoke a different sense. So bringing that in, I appreciate you bringing that in, and for you recognizing that and exploring. There needs to be a softness with the strength, and the softness. Love can be strong, and this foundational stance, not the harshness, not the rigidity, but the softness, the strength, and the beauty, the brightness in it. So appreciate you raising all that. Lovely. Paroma offers felt very grounded. Beautiful. Great. Sounds wonderful. Thank you for that. Yeah. So I'd like to save some time, perhaps on the other side, for reflections on the other side of the practice meeting, the little groups that we'll get into, unless there is a reflection you really like to share to feel complete before we get into it. I'll give it a moment if you want to raise your hand or unmute yourself. But otherwise, any takers? Let's see. Okay, no. So the invitation tonight for the practice, for group practice, is as you relate to others and to other people, maybe 2 or 3 other people in the small group, the invitation is show up, not with the energy of, oh, now I have to talk to people, I have to put my public face on, and not that. This is a sandbox to see how you can show up with this balance of care, of warmth, of friendliness for yourself and for others, with that energy, holding yourself, holding them, and trusting that you're being held by others in that way. And the interaction, each person will be sharing for just a couple of minutes. So what you share, what you say is not as important as how you show up for yourself. Can you speak while you're holding yourself with kindness and others, and connecting tonight with a sense of, with this foundational stance for kindness, for goodwill? How do I want to show up in the world? Do I want to show up with care for myself and care for others? What does it feel like with an interaction, with just a 6-minute interaction? How can it possibly show up? Freshly meditated with people who've just meditated with me. And then you can take it out into the world with your family, with your colleagues later. But here, this is a sandbox. You can try this out. So with that, I'd like to invite us. And the prompt is, what did you discover in tonight in this exploration. And again, whatever you say is fine. I discovered nothing. I fell asleep. It's perfectly fine. So, but that is the prompt. See what comes up for you. So, I'm going to create the breakout rooms now. And if you decide tonight is not right for you, it's okay to bow out. And you are invited to just try it out, see what it can feel like. So here we go, making the breakout rooms. And one more minute. Okay, here we go. I'm about to open them up. And remember to stay in your body. Remember to stay in your body. Here we go. Okay, the rooms are closed and everyone is back. Welcome back, everyone. Great. So we have a few minutes for reflections or questions or comments or complaints. So please, either about the first part of the practice or the second part of the practice. First part being the silent meditation, second part being practicing in community. Erica, please.
I thought I interrupted you a little at the end.
It's all good. I just saw you.
I shared this in the small group also, that the connection for me between like resolve and loving kindness was really rich, because like I want to have, like, my orientation in life is about like a big heart, you know, and loving kindness, and I'm sure a lot of us share that, you know, who are gathering here. But I often feel like, well, but I don't have a big heart, or I'm falling short of that aspiration. And somehow like the pairing of that with resolve was like really encouraging, you know, because like resolve or foundational stance, like that's like a commitment that you keep returning to. And it made me feel like, oh, like it's okay that it's like, you know, I don't have a heart like the sky every day. That's like a commitment that I can keep coming back to. It was beautiful. And then physically, like I felt like my heart was like expanding out of my chest, which was very cool, you know, just because of this like sort of connection and the freedom of that. So that was really nice.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that, Erica. I so appreciate you speaking about it as discovering that it's a commitment that you come back to, instead of berating oneself like, you just come back to it. It's your North Star, of course. Of course, you keep coming back to it. And what you're saying also relates to, by the way, how the 5 precepts, how ethics, how sila is held in Buddhism. It's not like the commandments that thou shalt not, and it's not about sinning. It's about a commitment. You make a commitment to not kill and not cause harm and not steal, and you keep making a commitment. And maybe you'll take somebody's time more than they wanted to give it, so in some ways you've stolen, but you don't berate. You come back to your intention. You come back to your intention. You have this resolve. You come back to your intention. You make a commitment to keep. So it's the same. So I'm just buoyed. I'm delighted to hear how you're discovering this for Metta, and also the stability in the body. Beautiful. Thank you. Joe, I see your hand is raised. Please.
So I don't relate to foundational stance very well. I relate to resolve. And I've had a resolve, you might say, to keep going through good times or bad in my practice. And the good times get gooder and longer, and the bad times get less bad and less long. But now it never occurred to me to apply resolve to, I guess what Gil calls being a safe person for everyone, or to resolve to show metta or whatever. So I'm going to add that into the into the resolve mix.
Great. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I love hearing about your new resolve or connecting with this idea resolve. It's great. Makes me happy. Thank you. Any other reflections? I see a question earlier from Yuka. Yuka, are you still here? Let's see if Yuka is still. Yuka, are you gone? I don't see Yuka anymore. Okay, there was a question in the chat. She typed early. Oh no, she's there. I see you now. I just see. I have very limited view. I have to keep scrolling back and forth to see people because if I switch to okay, technicality, but I have to highlight myself so that YouTube, for privacy only, I'm seen, you guys aren't seen, your name aren't seen. So I just see a strip of names and photos and I have to keep scrolling back and forth to see all of you. Anyway, here you are, Yuka, thank you. The question you wrote, how do you perceive the feeling of not feeling? So how I understand it is how do you relate to the feeling of not feeling and numbness? Or do you want to say, am I understanding your question correctly? Or do you want to say a little more about it so I understand your question better?
Where this feeling? My feeling where come back? Your teen, my body come back. My feeling check, but not feeling, not to have feeling.
Not a happy feeling?
Yes, good. Comfortable, my body comfortable, feeling good, but feeling not to have.
So this is. So this is what I understood you say. So during the meditation, it felt like you didn't feel your body, and when I rang the bell, it seemed like you came back to your body and you started to feel your body again. So it seemed like for a while the sensations of the body were not felt. Is that the question? Yeah, so you're wondering, but so that can be many different things when sometimes it can be many different things, but let me ask you something. While the sensation of the body wasn't there, was there a sense of deep presence? Was the mind really, really still? Yes, yeah. So it can be many different things, but the case here is sometimes when the mind gets really, really still, it's called samadhi or concentration or shamatha. It's called different things, but it's basically when the body gets when the mind gets very calm, very still. Sometimes the sensations of the body disappear. Sometimes the sensations of the body dissolve. They're not there. It's okay. There's a different way of relating to the sensations. Sometimes the body sensations can feel like points in space. Like it's not about, it's just like, oh, sensation there, sensation, it can, so many different things can show up. It's all fine. It's all good. So just relate to it as the same way you relate to a hiccup, like the body just does something like, oh, okay, the body, relate to it in a different way, in a natural way, like, oh, this is natural. This is what happens when the mind really settles.
Not too scary.
No, not at all. It's completely normal when the mind settles. And if we have more time, I'll tell you more, but this is just fine. And in fact, I'll stay a few minutes afterwards if you want to ask more questions. And I'll just make myself available tonight for anyone who has specific questions and wants to ask. But it's 7 o'clock, 7:02, and let's close the session together. Thank you all for showing up for yourself and others, practicing, and aligning your life with your Aditanha. May we all be well, free, all beings everywhere, and aligned with our Aditanha. Thanks, everyone. I'll stay for extra 5 minutes for whoever would like to stay and ask questions. And I will stop the YouTube.